I am sharing a little garden update. All of the seedlings and little plants are in, and I'm really excited to share that with you, along with some higher thinking. So this big bed here, you can see it's a little shaded, but it actually does a really good job. And we have some herbs, some sage. Whenever I'm in the garden, that is the place where I have the fewest thoughts. So I can come out here and spend hours and realize that I cannot recall one single thought that I had. But I do intentionally sometimes pause to pray. That's something I do frequently throughout the day. Oh my gosh, look at this puppy. Hi. Let's just be with her for a second. I'll intentionally stop throughout the day and say a prayer. And I have a few favorites, and I'm a simple-minded lady, so I like them easy. Thy will be done, not mine, is a frequent one. But also, when I need some more intentionality, some more time, I'll say the Lord's Prayer. And I do this because it helps me to check in and redirect my thoughts and my actions back to the higher purpose of my life, because it's similar to affirmations in that it redirects everything. It's a good way to check in and see if I have fallen into the words are temptation, right? Or am I distracted? Have I become distracted from my purpose? And this is really simple, right? We all know that prayer helps when we are trying to overcome something, when we have a goal to, basil is my favorite, a goal to lose weight, a goal to stop drinking, right? We ask for the temptation to be paused, removed, relieved. And it works. It works in my life. But sometimes we can get a little stuck. I've gotten stuck before on words, I don't really, a word that means something to me that feels tarragon. So far you're like, wow, you have a lot of herbs. I do. I'm doing a lot of herbs. I make beauty products and lotions and things that require homegrown stuff. So back to the prayer, sometimes the words, oh, my poor mint. This is something I love this in tea. I'm going to put some water on that. Hello, Dahlia. Let's sit with Dahlia for a second. So there are words in prayer, right? And originally, prayer was very symbolic. It's very vast in its meaning, right? It's like the Zen, I think it's Zen, the Zen phrase, all of the universe in a grain of sand, right? It requires a big open mind, nuance, to see the all in the one. So, for instance, expanding our understanding of certain words or phrases in prayer. Because whether you are a devout Christian or deconstructing or whatever it is, we all have noticed that there are certain words in prayers that can be triggering. And that's because, because it's touching on something in us, an energy in us that needs correction, but also the powers that be have, the unfortunate powers that be have also learned that they can usurp some of this language, some of this holy, prayerful language, and use it to their advantage. Specifically today, I'd like to use the example of the word sin, and the word sin is in the Lord's Prayer. Forgive us our sins as we forgive the sins of others, right? And the word sin can feel, it's got feelings, right? And it can invoke shame, and when we feel shameful, right, a person can shut down. Okay, let's move along. Thank you, Dahlia. They can shut down. And that's the opposite of what prayer and affirmation is meant to do. It's meant to realign us. And so today I'd like to offer you just a little trick, I guess, I've used, because it's hard. It takes time for us to reawaken in the oneness of a prayer, of a word, of a meaning, right? We may have gotten very lost, maybe very hijacked by the reductionist approach to spirituality and praying, taking the word sin and making it mean something that can ultimately be used for financial benefit, right? And instead, let's look at it this way. The word sin, ultimately, it means, and I believe this is an archery term, to miss the mark. To miss the mark, right? So all that really means is we have a goal. These are tomatoes, by the way. But I'm about to showcase something really good. The radishes. And these babies, I'll like pluck one out because they need to be thinned and chew on them, and they're so spicy and delicious. Oh, if you don't grow radishes, give it a shot. And they just look so happy. Let's stay here with the radishes and reflect on this thought of sin for a moment. Let's correct our vision of what that is. There's this idea that we come here, and as we are born, we're born into sin, right? And there's an element of truth and reflection in that, but it's, again, been usurped and used and become very harsh, right? It's actually just plays upon our morality with very little medicine. And so today I'd like to offer you some medicine in terms of how we see sin. And when we say the Lord's Prayer and we ask, forgive us our sins as we forgive the sins of others, and we can feel that in our body, the conjuring of what that evokes. And instead, I like to use the translation in the words. Forgive me, I'll ask God, the universe, and myself, forgive me for missing the mark. And let me forgive those who have missed the mark in my eyes. And it just helps so much. It alleviates so much of the pressure. That translation, that bigger view, helps to expand it back into its rightful place of nuance. Because life is nuance, right? We cannot cut one thing off from another. We can't just isolate a concept of being human, humanality. We can't just take sin and put it in the corner and leave it there. And it's time that we reclaim our understanding of sin so that we are not so alienated, right? And so that when we consider how others sin, we're not so angry and alienate them. It really alleviates that pressure and opens the heart and allows for that movement. You can probably feel it in your body when you think about it that way. It allows for movement inside of the body and the mind and through life to reacclimate with ourselves and the others as ones who miss the mark. These are peppers. I'm going to keep sharing this garden stuff with you. Oh, calendula. I know they're little babies right now, but they're coming up. I love calendula in my lotions. Okay, so I really enjoy speaking with you guys about this. I hope this helps. I hope this relieves some ache in your heart and takes that wet blanket of what sin means and what it means to ask for forgiveness and give forgiveness around sinning, as it is missing the mark, because we do and because other people do. Blessings.